very good morning to Learned Deputy Director, Sikkim Judicial Academy, Madam Bhutia, and the newly appointed Learned Judicial Officers who are present here for today's training program. So firstly, I would like to start by introducing myself. My name is Jigmee Bhutia. I am the Deputy Registrar, IT of High Court Computer Kedar, and at present I am posted in district and session called Gyalshing. I welcome you all to today's training session on the roles of ICT and eCourts. Now, with the permission of the Learned Deputy Director, Madam, I would like to begin the first session. Thank you, Madam. The role of ICT in judiciary and eCourts. So as we all present here are familiar with judiciary and courts. So what does ICT and E stands? So these two words are the technology used in courts. So ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. It is a branch of computer science. And E in courts stands for electronic, or you can say digital courts, to make it more simpler. Go with the next slide. So, information and communication technology in Indian judiciary. So, before I go with the key components, I would like to take you back in time. So, this was during the 1950 era. So, that was when the organization, government sectors, your private companies, so these were all getting established during that era. At that time, even our Supreme Court of India was established in 1950. So the work culture was very manual at that time, because that was just the inception, it was just the beginning. So everything used to be done very manually. It was quite tedious, it was labor consuming. So the court ministerial staff had to do a lot of work manually. Records were done in written, in pen and paper, and at point of time it was quite risky also, I would say that, because in case of fire or any damages, natural calamity, the records used to be lost. Very few companies, you can say private sector, they already embraced this technology, the new technology. So it was making their work easier, simpler, more efficient, and they were reaping the benefits of it. Then later on in the year 2000, even the government sectors, they wanted to embrace this new technology. Very few government sectors started off with the project, and even our Supreme Court, the courts didn't want to lag behind. They wanted to be at par with the other sectors, the private sectors and the government sectors. So they started using ICT. So now let me go with the key components. The key components of ICT. So the key components are hardware, software, communication networks, and data management. So you all must be very familiar with these words, this term. So I'll tell you in very simple. Hardware is something that is tangible, you can touch. Or you can say the outer case of something. For example, your laptops, your computers, printers, your keyboard. So these can be termed as hardware. They come in that category. Now, software is something that gives life to the hardware, something that makes it work. So in software there are two types. One is application software and one is system software. So first I will go with the system software. So by the term system software, you can understand that what it means, system software, the thing to operate a system. So for example, your system software applications are your Windows operating system, which operates your Windows, Windows 10, there are different versions. Similarly, Linux. So in Linux, there are Fedora, Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is a system software that we are implementing in eCourts. So most of the desktops or laptops you see, later on you will also be provided with laptops. So that you will be using Ubuntu. So it is a free and open source software. And the best part is it is a root user, so it is very safe and secure. So the courts wanted to use a platform which is free and open source and something which is secure and reliable. So ended up using Ubuntu. Now we have the communication networks. So by communication networks, it signifies the exchange of data and information. For example, while conducting a VC case or sending an email, a communication network is required. Like say your internet ISP service provider, BSNL, your Wi-Fi, your 4G, 5G. So these analogs can be coined as communication network. And lastly, data management. So data management, the word itself, management of data. Here I am talking about a huge amount of data, not a small data. So a proper policy, action plan has to be framed of how data is created, how it is handled, how it is stored, how it is utilized, and how it can be further utilized in future. So for data management, you have cloud storage, you have database management system, DBMS. Then you have your artificial intelligence also, this system. Now we go to the rules. So why does ICT play an important role in judiciary? So I've given 3 points to make it very simple for you all to understand. Enhancing efficiency. So I'll give you a case in this. So previously, before the use of ICT, where things used to be done manually. For example, let's go with the inception of filing. Filing used to be done manually by the LDA or the court ministerial staff. Then from filing, the manual registration used to be done in Kacha register. Then a case number used to be given. Then judgment used to be typed using a typewriter. So now here comes the case. So if any mistake was made, the thing had to be redone again. For example, a stenographer made a small error in a judgment while typing in a typewriter. The same thing had to be redone. So this was quite time consuming. And suppose the pastry was absent. So all the things, the pending works were all delayed. So using ICT, a computer, the work has been made more simpler. It enhances its efficiency. So even during the absence of a peshkar, an LDA can come and continue the work. So let me go with the next one, connectivity and accessibility. Now connectivity and accessibility, as I told you, suppose a lawyer from North Sikkim, from let's say Mangan, has to appear in Honorable High Court. So now, as you are aware, during the monsoon time, the roads are quite treacherous and it's blocked, it's damaged. So using VC connectivity, he can appear the cases online. The exhibits can be easily accessible by email. So he can do his daily work. He doesn't have to go to High Court physically. Now last is transparency. So data in real time is uploaded in the live portal. So this is a very transparent system. A brief overview of eCourts project in India. Now eCourts project, it's a concept based on NEGP, you can say National E-Governance Plan, formulated by the central government during in the late, I can say early 2000. So this was when the government sectors, they were going digital. So, eCourts project is a concept based on national policy and action plan for implementation of information and communication technology in the Indian judiciary in the year 2005. And this was supervised by the E-Committee, Supreme Court of India. So why eCourts? The main purpose of the eCourts was to make justice delivery system affordable, cost-effective, transparent, and the work culture very simple in courts. So the eCourts was done in 3 phases. So we had 3 phases that I'm going to discuss in the next slide. The first phase, from 2007 to 15, this phase was during the year 2007 to 15. So the main objectives was digitize case records, implement case management systems, facilitate online filing of cases. As you can see in the picture, a huge amount of case record, and the man sitting there most probably be the record keeper. So he is scanning all the data, the case records. So the digitization of case records was being done in the first phase. So this was what it was proposed. Secondly, birth of case management system, CIS. Now we have the version 4. This is the old version. It started with CIS version 0. So this was where all your filing, instead of your manual filing, so this was all being fed in the computer. Your filing, objection, registration and allocation, from your filing till disposal, all would be managed by the case management system. Then e-filing. So this was also being developed. This phase was also being developed. So where lawyers can file their case online. They do not need to come physically in the court and file the cases. They can file it online. So these were the main objectives. These were the, let's say, the things that were being worked upon in the first phase. Phase 2. This is the second phase. So in this phase, SMS and email alerts for case status and orders and judgments which were found online. So during this phase, your SMS and alerts were being sent to the stakeholders, to the litigants and lawyers once they register their case. And judgments and orders which were being uploaded and found readily online. So a lawyer, a litigant would not need to come to the copying section and get their orders or judgment. They could directly get it online. The project was also expanding to high courts and subordinate courts across the country. So during this time, a very few courts were allocated with these features where it was being implemented, and Sikkim was also one of them. National Judicial Data Grid. I hope you all must have heard of it, NJDG. You must be familiar with this. So this is where the data is found in real time. The data of the Supreme Court, your High Court, District Court, Subordinate Court. The data of all these courts are accumulated in a single platform, National Judicial Data Grid. And it can be found in real time. The stakeholders, the litigants, the lawyers can easily access the data in real time. So in the second phase, I would say that NJDG played a vital role. Now we come to the third phase. This I would be discussing in detail because phase 1 and phase 2. So these two phases, it has already been implemented. So right now we are, the ongoing phase 3 is still going on. So phase 3 aims to fully digitize all court processes. So digitization of courts, you can say that. So whatever processes is being followed, before it used to be done manually in a register. So now we have record section. Advocates are filing online. They are using E-Sewa Kendra, ESK. Certified copies are being found online. Orders and judgment, they are being uploaded online. Your summons is also being sent online through InStep. Online payments are being made. Now, virtual challans or traffic challan, that will also be implemented online. So in this phase, everything would be digitized. So it ensures judicial transparency. So because data is found in real time, it's being uploaded for the common citizens. So everything is a transparent. So this is a transparent system. And also it makes the system more accessible to citizens from any corner of the country. From even the remote corner, from you say in Sikkim, you go to any small district, they can easily avail all the records or the data if they have any court cases, pertaining to any court cases. Then lastly, the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning. This also I will come later in the slide in detail. The vision of phase 3. So what was his vision? So adopting an ecosystem approach. So by the term ecosystem means, so everything, the e-filing, e-payment, your NSTEP, your VC, data exchange, all were interlinked, interconnected with one another in an ecosystem. So post-pandemic, COVID-19 made the courts to radically change or adopt a system that would be changing during difficult time, or whenever something needed a change, a radical change, court had to adopt. Secondly, digital and paperless courts. So this is also one of the main agenda that would be implemented in phase 3. As of now, I think Sikkim High Court would be the first pilot project would be there, tried and tested in one of the courtrooms of the Honorable Justice. So then later on in all the courts we would be implementing, once we get the direction of the E-Committee, Supreme Court of India. Digital and paperless court, it means that the elimination of paper. So in one way, I would also say that it would create a carbon footprint and it would be good for the environment, and it would also be cost effective. It would save money on the stationery, the paper. So from your filing till your disposal of cases, all would be done digitally without the use of paper. But in practical, I think it will be quite difficult, because I think while filing some of the bail application or some paper has to be submitted in exhibit form. But I think later on it will be digitized, then it will be discarded. So some sort of a plan has to be placed. Artificial intelligence and technology-driven judiciary. So AI in judiciary, SUPIES. So that I'll be discussing later on. But let me tell you SUPIES in brief. SUPIES stands for Supreme Court Portal for Assistant in Court Efficiency. So it will be using AI technology, blockchain, to improve the overcome, to reduce dependency, and to improve the overall functioning of a judicial officer. Then lastly, citizen-centric approach. So since the data would be readily available online, so it would be very easy for the citizen to collect it and to get the data. So they'll not have to come to the court or write an application to the peshkar or to the advocates. They can directly find their data or the records online. The impact of phase 3. I hope you are understanding. If there is any question or queries, you can always stop and you can always raise a question. Impact of phase 3. Using ICT created faster disposal of cases. There were less error, and the pendency of cases were also. And second one is reduce pendency and backlog. So using CIS, Case Information System, and NGDG, you can get a real-time pendency of the cases instituted, the cases disposed. So this helps the judicial officers to reduce dependency, increase transparency and accountability. Since data was in real time, so the system was very transparent. And a great convenience for litigants and lawyers. So this made life of the lawyers very easy, I would say that. Because using ESK, the service provided to them, e-filing. So filing earlier the lawyers used to come to the court and do it physically. They could do at the chambers online. So this made it very convenient for the lawyers. Now we have the future vision. The electronic courts project aims to continue advancing the digital transformation of the judiciary. So these were the three main key features: efficiency, transparency, and accessible justice delivery system. So using ICT, computers, your printer servers, and the birth of invention of your case management system, your national judicial data grid. So these were all interlinked with one another. These ecosystems created the work culture for the ministerial staff to be more simpler, easier, where it could be managed and tracked easily. Secondly, transparency. Since the data was in real time and was being uploaded on a daily basis, so the system was also very transparent. Now this led to accessible justice delivery system. and access to justice for all, I would say. Because this system, the data, your judgment orders, the online system made it very accessible for the common citizens of the country. So in very brief, I would like to tell you the key achievements. Digital case management. So that is scanning and digitization. That you will be hearing in the next session from your resource person, my colleague. So that is scanning and digitization of court cases. In a very simple term, you get your record, you digitize it, you save it in a repository, and later on you can retrieve the digital case or the data, I would say that. Second one is National Judicial Data Grid. So the birth of National Judicial Data Grid is where the data of all the courts from your Supreme Court till your subordinate courts, which should all be found in real time. E-filing and e-payment system. So this aided a lot to the lawyers, especially this e-filing and e-payment. An advocate could easily file his case from his chamber or at home using a laptop. And he would also make the payment online. So this was very efficient and very helpful to the lawyers. Video conferencing for hearings. So this practice was done very useful during the COVID-19 pandemic. As you are all aware, the situation of the country. So everything, the lockdown had taken place. Most of the offices, your companies, your shops, they were all closed. But I would like to tell you that the courts were still functional. The courts were still functioning and daily cases were being taken through video conferencing. Initially we had a little bit of difficulty because the applications we were using in the courts were not readily available to the lawyers and the litigants, to the witnesses, especially in the rural areas, and due to your internet connectivity also, because for video conferencing a very high speed internet is required, otherwise you have lags. But however, we did manage, and it is still continuing, video conferencing for hearings. Even here, during the most especially during the monsoon season, lawyers from Gangtok or say from Mangan, they still do prefer hearing their cases through VC, and which we do in Gyalshing court and even in Soaring court. Now we have public access to case information. So the data information is everything is being shared in real time, so the public can easily access it online. Now we come to the next topic, SUPIES. Supreme Court Portal for Assistance in Court Efficiency. So SUPIES is a portal where you are provided with your login ID and a password. So this portal enables you to give a very good judgment in very less time. So what it does basically is, it will gather all the law, information and facts and put it together for you all. It will not make a decision. This AI, SUPIES uses AI platform or the technology, the tech behind it. So AI will not make a decision for you, but it will help assist you in making a good decision in a short time. So for SUPIES, as of now, it is being tried and tested in the two courts. One is Delhi High Court and another one is in Mumbai High Court. So right now it's still in its experimental phase where it's being tried and tested. So after a few years, I think it will also come to Sikkim, the courts of Sikkim. So you all will be using this portal for your judgment writing and orders. So in order to know SUPIES, I would like to give you a brief idea about the technology behind it. So I will like to say you in very simple terms, because these are quite technological terms. So I have generalized the idea and made it very simple. So AI, so you must be aware of this term, artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is basically trying to stimulate something a computer would match or exceed human intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a technology that thinks and works like a human. So intelligence can be, you can have different meanings, but here in AI, intelligence means something you can learn, infer, and reason. Main thing is reason to logic. So it is a automated process, so it will give you automatic answer. Now we come with machine learning. So machine learning is also under AI. So as the word itself terms, machine learning, so the machine has to learn. So the machine learns by giving input or giving it some data. So what it does is the machine recognizes pattern in a data, a specific set of pattern or data. The main task of machine learning is pattern recognition. It has to recognize that pattern and input is given. So the more data you provide to a machine, the better it becomes, or the smarter it becomes more confident. It will be giving you better results. And another task is like spotting outliers. So in a pattern, what do you understand a pattern? Are you getting my point? For example, let me tell you, in sports, the balls used for football, volleyball, then you have cricket ball. So this is a pattern. First you have a football, then you have a volleyball, then you have a cricket ball. So if I tell you to guess the next pattern, so it will be quite difficult. So again, if I put the next sequence is a football, so then you will be putting in a volleyball, then you will be putting in a cricket ball. Now if I give you a banana in between, so that will break the pattern. So it will be difficult to interpret or to predict. So these can be termed as outliers. You have a pattern and there is something different in it. So these can be termed as outliers, and it is especially used in cybersecurity. So they match a pattern. So any different pattern, so these can be termed as outliers. So in cyber security, these patterns are being checked for a machine, for its security. So for what it's not being done, it's being used for something else, or for the deep web, something. So these can be done. So machine learning became popular in the year 2010, and it's still going on. Now we come to deep learning and NLP. NLP stands for natural language processing. So what do you mean by deep learning? Any one of you? Deep learning? I think you have heard this analogy, deep learning. Or natural processing, natural language processing. Have you heard of it? Or is it something new for you? Okay, deep learning is things, we call things, or neural network. It works like a human, it mimics and tries to work like a human brain. It stimulates and mimics a human brain works. It is called deep because it has multiple layers. It has multiple layers in the neural network. So deep learning is all into neural networks. You have a lot of networks in it. You have nodes, you have hidden networks, then you have the output. So it is very complex as our brain works, does complex calculation. Sometimes the results are very good, sometimes it gives stupid results. So this was also popular during the year 2010. So research and advancement in this field is also going on. Deep learning is you feed a big amount of data. So it learns through your lot of data, tremendous amount of data, and it becomes an expert. Apart from this, the space has also been created from the AI, like generative AI. Have you heard of generative AI? No? Any one of you? Generative AI.
ChatGPT is a generative.
Yes.
Generates the answer.
Yes. Now SUPIES will also be something like that. Something like a ChatGPT, but ChatGPT, it's you can say universal. You can ask about anything, any subject. But your SUPIES will be a weak AI. Let me not say a weak AI, but it will be specific only to the legal terms. Yeah, ma'am, please.
So in that case, there are many artificial technology we have in the present day. So in that case, what are the other technologies? Is it possible for us to use the other technology for a better efficiency?
Yeah.
And to what extent we can use it in the present day? Because there are many other artificial intelligence platforms for that matter. So to what extent we can use in the present day, and how do we determine the efficacies of it?
So as of now, you have only the private sectors. They are development of this technology is being done only by the private sectors. Your ChatGPT, then your Lawify. These are all into your legal assistance, or till some extent you can use your ChatGPT also.
Okay.
But some of the applications, they are free of cost. Some application needs to be subscribed. You have to pay some amount, and some application will take you to their database or their machines and generate an output. So this technology can be used for your analysis and to get a good judgment in short time. So you'll not be having to read huge amount of law books, refer to various your law section. So this will be done very rapidly, very speedily. So you will save a lot of time. But this will not give a judgment. So you will have to judge. For example, of the use of example, I will give you in simple words. So you ask a ChatGPT at your home, what are the edible items in my kitchen? So the ChatGPT might answer, the platform might answer, you have a banana, you have a pie, you have a cake, you have noodles, you have rice, etc. But the item you want to eat will be decided by you. So you will decide what you want to eat. So the technology will just lay it in your plate, in your table, say. So you will have to choose it. Ma'am, done? I hope I justified your question.
Yes.
Okay. Now with I was in generative AI. Yeah, ChatGPT. The G stands for generative, and the architecture used is transformation architecture. So chat, the T is there. In generative AI, I will coin you a word. The foundation model is used. Have you heard of it? So this is also new. So foundation model, by telling foundation model, you can understand large language model. For example, let's go to an autocorrect. In your Windows or in your Microsoft, in Linux also we have. So you are typing in a word, let's say MACHIN. So it will automatically correct E. So it may fill out learning also, machine learning also. This is autocorrect. But whereas in large language model, it will predict not only the next word or the sentence, but the entire paragraph and the entire document. It will create an entire document for you. So this is the strength of large language model. There is also an exponential leap in what these things are able to do in future. Then we have chatbot. That also comes in natural language processing, NLP. It's something like you do a shopping in Amazon, then you can always speak to a chatbot. So this is my package, I didn't get it delivered, or something was wrong with the package. It will automatically answer. So this is also your language is taken and it is taught. The data is being done in a pattern, it is taught. So it processes natural language, NLP. So apart from this, the next space we have is deepfake. Now deepfake is something which is new in the generative AI. So this is something your voice recognition, for example, your voice from someone can be recorded and put in the face of someone else, and it will appear as if that person is speaking some other voice, or he's making some void statement or bogus statement.
Like the deepfake videos.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So mostly it is used in your entertainment society or social media. These are all new. But in actual practice, a deep fake can be very useful for a person who has lost his voice. He can type in and he can be able to, the language should be delivered in his own voice. So these are the application. So AI has both advantages and disadvantages. It has a good cause and a bad cause. It's how you use it. Now we go to the next slide. Artificial intelligence model trains computers to process and analyze data in a manner similar to human cognition. So the word artificial intelligence was coined by James McCarthy in 1955, long time back, at a workshop at Dartmouth on artificial intelligence, which is the first use of the word, and this was how it was made popular. McCarthy defined AI as the science and engineering of making machines that are smarter. So artificial intelligence can be machines that are smart and does things like a human being. It's self-automated and does things like a human being. Now we come to the next slide. Types of artificial intelligence. So basically there are three types. The first is narrow AI. It is also called weak AI. So these have very specific purpose. Narrow AI or weak AI, very specific purpose. For example, your Siri in iPhones or Alexa in your Androids. So it has very specific function. Then we have artificial general intelligence, AGI. So this is also called general AI. So general AI is a strong AI, and its application can be seen for autonomous driving vehicle, autonomous car, the system, ADAS system being implemented in cars, your self-driven cars. These are all general AI or strong AI. So in this, the pattern recognition, deep learning is done. So it matches the pattern. You have cameras, you have sensors in the car, so it will detect an object. So in real time, it will make that calculation and it will avoid. Are you getting my point? Okay. Then you have artificial super intelligence. Is also a strong AI, but it is hypothetically surpassing human intelligence in all access. So as of now, we really don't have a real world example. So I think later on, after 10 years from now, artificial super intelligence, I think it will be very much used at that time. So this development, these stages is still in the initial stage. So it will fully be functional at that time. At that time it is said it will be more intelligent than a human being. So a very basic diagram just to implement all those analogy, the terms I used, to put it in a diagram for you to understand. So how AI works. So you give an input, so it will learn the pattern, it will make prediction, and it will perform tasks. Your AI is an umbrella. So under it, the ML, your machine learning, your deep learning, your generative AI, so all it is under the same platform. So machine learning is deep learning. The main objective is to make the machine learn through human intervention. So human has to teach it and sometimes make correction. So that is the larger data set you give to a machine, ML. So the better it becomes at predicting things. Then you have neural networks, that is deep learning. That uses large language model, and it works something like a human brain. It mimics a human brain. So computer vision, speech recognition, language processing. So this field, the neural network, has been highly advanced by countries like Japan, China, America, where you have humanoid. They can even sense your feeling. The cameras are designed in such an algorithm that it will detect whether you are happy, whether you are sad, whether you are angry. And one case that I would like to give you, even for your CCTV cameras. So now you have AI CCTV cameras. So I would say last year the Ram Mandir was inaugurated. Was it last year? Or day before last year? Last year. So during the inauguration, there was it's a Noida-based company, Gurgaon-based company called Jabris. So they are newly into your analytics. You can say it's a company, homegrown company. They are into analytics, especially video analytics. So they have deployed various cameras, drones, cameras, for patrolling the security. And these informations were sent in real time to the police. The control rooms were set up. What it does is, from the footage, the analytics can be done. For example, if a person is carrying a weapon, and is walking around, and somehow the camera detects it, so that can be sent as an alert in real time. Suppose the criminals, the database of criminals are fed into the system of CCTNS. So they can track with the face recognition pattern. They can track all those criminals, the people loitering here and there. So this will boost the security. Are you getting my point? Now we have export system. That is data processing, data generation, and data distribution. I'm trying to make the topic more interesting because it's quite technical. So if I tell you in technical words, you might not be able to understand and it might be very boring to you. So artificial intelligence enables computers to see, understand, and translate language using your natural processing language. You can say Siri, Alexa, these are the case type example. It will also help you analyze data. For example, I gave you video analytics of a company called Jabris. It's a startup company. So video analytic data. So before I proceed to the next one, I would just like to tell you a brief about the company also. So in Gyalshing, as you all know, in district Gyalshing, we don't have a district prison. So the prison is in Bhutia. So last year we had a meeting with the jail SP, with the DC and our district judge, and I was also there. So I had given a small presentation on video analytics. So how to make prisons safe, how to provide security in prison. Because as of now, I think few cameras, CCTV cameras are being used to monitor the movement of the inmates, of the prisoners in the prison. And it is quite tedious. Here we have very less prisoners. In future, there are a huge amount. It would be quite a hassle to manage them. So this idea was proposed. Why not we implement the video analytics one? But it was found that the cost was quite high. And the district prison, they didn't have the budget, the fund. to support this technology. So maybe in future, I think, so if we use this technology, video analytics, so it would be very easy for the guards to monitor the movement of the prisoners, because it would give you alerts in real time. So for example, I told you if someone is carrying a weapon, it will give you alert in real time through a SMS or in the system or a message in your phone. Then if some fight is happening or something is going on, it will give you information in real time. Okay, let me go with the next one. Make recommendation. Okay. So all of you using the internet, so while online shopping, you search a jeans, it will give you your t-shirt or combo pair. So it will make online recommendation, and it will learn from experience. So the more data you give, the more experience, the more confident the system becomes. And it will also adjust to new inputs. And it will perform tasks like a human being does. Now the features of SUPIES. As I told you earlier, the main objective of SUPIES, Supreme Court Portal for Assistance in Court Efficiency, is to provide assistance for judgment to a judicial officer, not to make a judgment. It will collect facts and laws and make them available to a judicial officer. Discovery of facts, processing words, figures, thereby improving efficiency. So why Supreme Court is interested in this technology is, first of all, it is a very good feature. It will assist a judicial officer to make his or her decision in a quick manner, thereby reducing pendency. Secondly, it's time saving. And lastly, it is a cheap technology. It's cost saving. Benefits of SUPIES. Artificial intelligence in the judiciary can be effective in reducing pendency. Faster and better processing of information, thus making the system more approachable, let's say transparent and cost effective. Artificial intelligence will not only make the lawyers or judges redundant, but it will reduce the bottleneck, resulting in excessive delays of cases. It will help you dispose of your cases faster, thereby reducing pendency. Now we go to the next slide. SUPIES and the future of legal AI in India. Transformation role in improving judicial outcomes and making justice more accessible, transparent, and efficient. In future, a predictive analysis model, analytics for case outcome, deeper learning model, and integration with other legal database can be seen. In future, I think with the trying and testing of the SUPIES in 2 of the pilot court projects, later on it will be moving here to all the courts of India at the end of phase 3. Now I would like to give you an example a very small example, simple example of a application software. So this is a document extraction and management platform. This software application can be useful where companies or sectors are handling a lot of documents, or in businesses with a lot of paperwork, a lot of receipts which needs to be digitized, and some analytics could be performed in it. So Acme AI, so this is the company, and it is a startup of a local, let's say a local boy from Kalimpong. So I would like to play the slide.
Unstructured and semi-structured
Light off,
Many organizations processing unstructured and semi-structured invoices and documents is a manual, time-consuming task. This not only leads to customer frustration and errors, but can also result in compliance issues, ultimately affecting revenue. Introducing Acme AI enabled document extraction and management platform for end-to-end document management process. Let's see Acme AI in action with a supplier invoice that would typically be manually entered into the ERP and other systems. 1. Homepage overview. This is the homepage of Acme AI. From here, we'll navigate to the invoices section. 2. Invoice upload. Now let's choose the invoice we want to adjust and upload it into the system. Acme AI supports uploading multiple invoices at once, making the process even more efficient. 3. Data extraction. Once the upload is complete, Acme AI begins processing the invoice. Using custom AI pre-trained models and advanced computer vision engines, the platform extracts data from the invoice. 4. Review and edit. The extracted data is then available for review. If needed, human users can easily edit the information. Once confirmed, the data is stored, classified, and ready to be sent to multiple applications through a PI integration with various systems. Additional features. Acme AI isn't just limited to invoices, it can process other types of documents as well, including application forms, bills, and reports. It even supports the extraction of handwritten text in seconds, with a human-in-the-loop interface that allows users to retrain the machine learning models, improving accuracy over time. The platform also offers workflow management features to automate processes, maximizing efficiency. To learn more about how Acme AI can transform your document management processes, visit www.acmeai.com. Reimagine the future with Acme AI. Or contact us at hello@acmeai.com.
So this AI application, document extraction, has been developed by a friend of mine, and his company is Acme AI. So as of now is the district administration in Kalimpong, your hotels, let's say Mahindra, some multinational companies, they're all approaching him. So AI application similar like this could also be used for scanning and digitization of our courts. Because what I felt was for the scanning and digitization, it is a very tedious task, especially for the court ministerial staff, because they have to scan each and every paper, each and every record. So the minimum case file would be around 100 papers. So in your some POCSO cases, around 200 to 300 papers, number of papers. So after that, once they scan, they will have to convert it into a PDF format. After they convert it into a PDF format, they will have to upload it in the repository. Now after uploading it in the repository, they will have to type each party, the party name, the CNR number. They will have to do a lot of data entry. So it is quite tedious and time consuming. So I had a word with our CPC sir also regarding this. So if something like this could be created for our courts, if we could implement the use of AI, it would make the work process very easy. And later on, some analytics could also be done with it. For example, if you want to search some landmark judgment on some cases, if you just type in it, you will get a list of landmark cases, landmark judgments. So it would be very beneficial. So now let's see what the CPC sir has said. He'll have a word. I've sent him a copy of this for our court cases. So I told my friend to develop something with her. This is for documents. So in my case, he gave me a PPT related to our courts, scanning of a case file, similar like this. So CPC sir said he will see and he will let me know. Any queries till now so far? Because we still have time. I'm about to come to the conclusion. Very few slides left. So if anybody has a question, Madam Sir, you can always. I think Sir wants to ask me something. I'll go with the next slide. ESK, Electronic Seva Kendra. So what do you understand by E-Sewa Kendra? Anybody? What do you mean by ESK? E-Services, E-Sewa Kendra.
This E-Sewa Kendra basically relates to e-filings and other works that is done through this internets and all, set up specifically in the court premises to assist advocates and litigants to file cases through this establishment. I think that is easy.
Very well said, sir. And you also, like a little bit closer, you gave a very good definition. To litigants and lawyers, one could file a case, one could scan his documents, file an online case through e-filing. He can scan all his documents, he can make online payments, he can get a soft copy of the order and judgment. So E-Sewa was created especially for the common people and the advocates. So it is like a one-stop center. E-Sewa Kendra is a one-stop center. So before I go to E-Sewa Kendra, I would like to tell you a few more things in phase 3. What are the things that will be done? So E-Sewa is important in phase 3. So 7,210 crores have been approved by the Union Cabinet, by the Union Cabinet Minister in the year 2003 for implementing phase 3. So the main purpose in phase 3, what would be done? E-filing, e-payment, it would be made universal. Legacy records would be digitized. Software application and live stream data would be made available, and establishment of 4,400 E-Sewa Kendra across the country. So as of now, I would like to say very few district courts and subordinate courts have E-Sewa Kendra. In Sikkim, almost all the district and subordinate courts, they are provided with E-Sewa Kendra. But in some other states, implementation of ESK have not begun. I think now in phase 3 they will be getting fund to construct E-Sewa Kendra. So in brief, I will tell you about phase 1 and phase 2 also, the budget provided. So in phase 1, 640 crores was sanctioned and utilized for computerization of 14,239 districts and subordinate courts in India. For phase 2, 1,670 crores was utilized for computerization of 18,735 district and subordinate courts. And in phase 3, the features that would be implemented: copy of judgment would be available online. So basically phase 3 is what phase 1 and phase 2, what were the features, what were the technology developed, what were the applications being used. So it was like an upgrade, and over to that the few computer items which were not provided, so they were provided for paperless courts, and the states and district courts which had not been provided with the hardware equipments, ICT equipments. So in phase 3, so you can see for phase 1 640 crores was being sanctioned. Now in phase 3 you have 7,210 crores. So this was done for to make the summons and processes to be automated, for handling traffic challans. Now for traffic challan you'll have a virtual court where it will be open 24/7. Then your live portals streaming, as you can see, from Sikkim High Court has not started yet to start, but you're from UP, your Delhi High Court, in I think your YouTube you can see your live streaming. You can see the Honorable Justice conducting his cases. Then the use of AI, that is in the third phase, and use of various modules interconnecting in an ecosystem. For example, your CCTNS, your ICJS, these would all be integrated in the phase 3. And in CIS 4.0, which my colleague would be explaining to you in detail in the next session. Okay. The lawyers would benefit from like inquiries about case status, next date and hearing, their cause list from High Court, Subordinate Court, District Court, their orders and judgments, soft copy of judicial orders, judgment of High Court and District Court. So this is our Honorable Lordship and Ladyship of High Court of Sikkim inaugurating the E-Sewa Kendra at the Honorable High Court. I think during the year 2020, that was when it was established in High Court, in Gyalshing, in Soreng, Namchi. This was during the pandemic time. Now I go to the benefits. Benefits of electronic Seva Kendra. Assist lawyers, litigants in accessing online eCourts services and shall be the savior for those who cannot afford the technology. So you have a lot of services, eCourts services. For example, like your e-filing, that is one of the services. Then e-payment. This would be discussed in detail, but I'll give you a very short overview. Your e-filing, your e-payment, your SMS alert, your scanning and digitization, your N-step. So these are all the services. So a lawyer who is not tech savvy, so you might have some old school lawyers who have not yet embraced the technology, or those who are not tech savvy. So these lawyers, they can benefit from E-Sewa Kendra. Apart from that, other lawyers can also benefit from it. But especially because we have a ministerial staff deputed in E-Sewa Kendra, they will assist the lawyer in whatever difficulties arises during their case filing, or whatever they want. For example, if they are searching for their certified copies, they are not able to get it, or for example, they don't want to meet the head copies, they don't want to go to the established the section, they want a soft copy. So they can readily be available. This is readily available in the E-Sewa Kendra, so they can take a soft copy. So, and the ministerial staff will also help them and assist them. So it will be beneficial for the advocates who are not tech savvy, I would say that. And also for those who cannot afford the technology. If they don't have the digital equipments needed, or they don't have internet or laptop there, then for them it would be beneficial. It will facilitate e-filing of cases across the country to conduct the hearing virtually, scanning, accessing eCourt services. So they will also be accessing one of the services, that is your digital hearing. So the litigants and lawyers, suppose they have a case, they can virtually attend to it. Go to the next slide. We have a mobile E-Sewa Kendra. So what is a mobile E-Sewa Kendra? Any one of you? Sir?
We can access to our mobile phones. Like the app.
Okay, you sir?
Which can travel to places.
Yes, exactly. Now I have a small video. Even here we have, the bus is kept idle at, I think, so this feature, I think, is best applicable in rural areas where there is lack of internet or good internet connectivity and where there is huge pendency of cases where people are not able to come to the courts, or in rural areas. Thank you. Now we have some question and answer round. If any queries needs to be addressed. Yes, ma'am, please.
Regarding E-Sewa Kendra, under what circumstances it can be used? Is it for under all circumstances it can be used, or there are specific circumstances wherein we can use E-Sewa Kendra?
So, E-Sewa Kendra can be used, it's like a one-stop center. So, for example, if you go to a district administrative center, the moment you enter the passage, you have a single window. May I help you? So your E-Sewa Kendra is similar, somewhat it functions the same way, but it is for the stakeholders and especially the lawyers or the citizens who have something to do with the cases in courts, if they want some query, if they want to know about the case, if they want to know if whether the judge for the case is absent or present, any detail can be accessed. And there is no specific term and condition. Advocate can come, he can easily access all the gadgets, the computer, the scanner. He can file his he can do his e-filing. After e-filing, he can scan his document and upload it. Then in the same system, he can make some payment. Then he can get certified copies, whatever he wants, ma'am.
Okay.
But we have not installed a printer in E-Sewa Kendra, because the main goal of the purpose is to make it paperless in future. So if we install a printer, so everybody would be coming, and even the common people, the local persons, they would be coming and they would be taking photocopy of it, or they would be taking printout. So the main goal is in future we would be having a paperless court. So for that purpose, we have not installed a printer, and as of now, only 2 systems are provided. So later on, at Gyalshing, we are expanding the area also. The construction is going on. You didn't come last time, but E-Sewa Kendra at Gyalshing is just a temporary structure, because the fund provided to us was only 2 lakh rupees. So within 2 lakh rupees, we couldn't build a good concrete structure. So we have just installed some plywood and done it. Whereas the other districts, they have come up with a permanent RCC structure. So in Gyalshing, it has already been more than 3 years, and the structure is getting damaged. So it will not be there for a long time. So keeping that in mind, we took permission from the CPC sir, and he sent us the fund to construct a new one. So this time we will be building it through using concrete RCC structure, and we will be increasing the number of systems also. So for example, we have 2 now, we might be putting 2 more up till 5 depending on the pendency of cases. So at a time, 3 to 4 the lawyers, advocates can utilize the system. As of now, we have 1 manpower at ESK, so he uses 1 system, and the other system is kept for the advocate. So it is fee for first come, first service. So whichever advocate comes first, he will use it, he or she will use it. After that, some other person will come. So it's at practice right now. So this is going on. So in future, if we might have 2 to 3 counters, so I think many lawyers, they can reap its benefit. Yes, sir. Any?
May I start? Ready? Good morning, honorable judges and esteemed participants. It is my privilege to welcome you to the ICT and eCourts Induction Programme. First of all, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Lordship Honorable Chief Justice, High Court of Sikkim, the Patron-in-Chief, Sikkim Judicial Academy, for giving me this opportunity and nominating me for this significant training program. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to learned Director Sir, Sikkim Judicial Academy, for providing me this opportunity to contribute to this initiative. And I'm privileged to, and it is my honor to address you newly appointed learned civil judges cum judicial magistrates today. You may feel free to ask any questions. You can share your views, or you can you can ask questions and share your views, or we can just and it should be so that all participants, it should be interactive. Throughout this session, I will be exploring key aspects of ICT and eCourts, primarily focusing on practical applications to enhance judicial processes. And so thank you once again for this opportunity, and let's begin. So my topics today are Case Information System 4.0, Rules for Video Conferencing, E-Filing 3.0. I will tell you about the National Judicial Data Grid and scanning and digitization in our courts. So first of all, in order to really grasp what exactly this eCourts project is that the eCourts project was envisioned for transparency, accessibility, and efficiency for all the court processes. Now, how do we achieve that? How do we achieve all this is that, so we achieve this by digitizing all our court processes. So how do we do, so first I want to just give you a purview about how do we digitize our court processes. What is this, what is the meaning of digitization? First of all, can any one of you volunteer and tell me what you understand by digitization? Sirs, ma'ams? What is digitization? Okay, so digitization, very simple. It is the any information converted to a digital format is digitization. Take for example, here, right now, we are here, I'm talking to you. So there is analog and this is digital. Analog means whatever we are doing here right now. I'm talking to you, this all, we are here, you are listening to me. Later, after 2 p.m., you'll go, and that's it. Whatever you heard from me, and that'll be in your head or memory, and then you will go and you'll understand that. But now, how do we digitize this exact process? Is being done through the camera out there. If the camera is capturing everything that I'm saying, everything you're listening, this whole session is being captured in camera. So that is the simple form. It is being digitized inside the camera, into the camera. Now, once you digitize that thing, once you digitize our session, how do we make it accessible to everyone? How do you think so? So this, whatever is captured, the technical person is going to go, he's going to take the video, whatever we did, and he's going to upload it in the YouTube. And once it is uploaded in the YouTube, what happens is everybody can see. This stays in the memory. Anybody, whoever wants to, whenever you want to go back to see what was said today, you can just go to that YouTube link. You can just click on it, and there you have it. You can access that. So that is what is digitization. So what happened after digitizing? You were able to access it. Anybody can access it. Any public, anybody. They just need to go. They don't need to pay any money, nothing. They can just access it. They can just listen to it. Again, they can access. So that is the power of digitization. So exactly this is what we are going to do. eCourts project also is envisioned to do exactly that. It has to be transparent, meaning whatever I said today, it is transparent. Once it's in YouTube, everybody can see whatever I said, everybody knows what exactly happened today. Anybody can access it, anybody can see it. And one of the most important things, what happens in digitization is that it becomes long-term preservation. Like once you upload it, then it is there forever. 50 years down the line, maybe 100 years down the line, when we are not there also, this video will be there. That is the power of digitization. So that is what exactly I will tell you how, with my presentation, I will tell you how to digitize each and every court processes. So I will just give you, as you all are newly appointed judicial officers, you haven't been to the courtrooms, I don't know if you have been also, but whatever I know, by the way, first of all, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Sherap Bhutia. I'm System Administrator, District Court Gyalshing, and I've been working in Gyalshing for the last 5 years. So whatever I, till all these years working in the court, what I understood, I'll just give you a scenario of what exactly happens in the courtroom. Take for example, the District and Sessions courtroom. So in the District and Sessions court, there is a dais just like this. The litigants, everybody are sitting down there. The judge is here, okay? And on his right hand side, we have a computer table. The stenographer is here. The stenographer's job is to record everything that happens record, if there is a deposition, she has to record the deposition. If there is an order, whatever the judge orders, he or she has to capture all that. How to capture all? Okay, so the scenario is that the judge is there, the stenographer is to your right hand side, to your left hand side you will have on the below you will have your peshkar. So now, apart from their judicial process or their jobs, what they also need to do is they need to ensure that whatever happened today is captured. Now, how to capture that? So exactly, in order to capture that, we have our source software. That is the main software which does all this, is Case Information System, CIS, Case Information System 4.0. This is the main software. This is the source from where you will be digitizing everything that your work today. You'll come here, you'll give an order, in the courtroom you'll say something. Whatever that work, that can be immediately digitized, and therefore anybody to see what work did you do, that is also out there. It's transparent. Today I did some work, it's right there. So how that happens is that, okay, so for like I gave you an example of the sessions court. So the stenographer, whenever the witness is being examined, all the depositions she is recording, the judge will be dictating something. So she will have a computer with a CPU, let's say a computer, and this computer is connected to the screen of the judge and also connected to the advocate screen. There are just two display units, or screen or the display unit. One is for the advocate, one is for the judge. Whatever is being typed by the stenographer can be viewed by the judge also, by the advocate also. So whatever corrections happens, whatever needs or need of correction, the judge can easily say, and the advocate also can easily say. So this is what exactly is happening, is being digitized. So this stenographer, what does he or she use is, he has a computer. Generally in our district court Gyalshing, or all the courts in Sikkim, we all use Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the operating system. This is the main operating. We don't use Windows and all that because we have to buy Windows. It's a proprietary software. So that's why eCourts, from the start only, they said that as Ubuntu is a free software, it's an open source software. We don't need to buy it. So it has less hassles. It's cheaper also, and it can be used easily. So that's why Ubuntu is the operating system. On this operating system, just like you have, I'm sure you all have used Windows. So just like you all use Windows, there is a word processor also. What is your word processor? It's the Microsoft Word. Microsoft Libre, W-R-I-T-E-R, Libre writer is the Word document that the stenographer used in order to capture what is being said. So he or she types everything, and then after that what happens is that he or she types, suppose the order has, now the session is over, the order is printed, and then it's taken to the judge sees it. If there is any correction, he corrects it, again sends it back, the stenographer corrects it, and once it is final, then the judge signs the order, says that okay, this is it, and once it is signed, then this document is scanned and uploaded in the CIS, saying that today's order. Generally, this is the way. Now, these days, what we do in Gyalshing court is that, in Gyalshing or all the other courts, the stenographer, he or she types it. If they are confident that it is the final product or final order, when discussion in the real time only, the stenographer can discuss it with the judge, saying that if this is the final thing, if the judge says okay, it's final, because he can see it in his screen only, the writer. And so once it is final, what does the stenographer do? Okay, when she says that okay, this is the final order, it needs to be signed. Next job, you have to sign it. So in order to sign it, we need to print it out and then again take it to the judge. So no. Now these days what we have our digital signature. It's a token. A token will be provided to all your judicial officers, which is unique to yourself only. And this will be processed by the technical team, whoever is there, the system administrator or the deputy registrar or the system assistants. These are all the technical team that are there in our courts. System administrator, system assistant, yes, these are the two, and then there are data entry operators also. So these days there is a digital signature for each judge, and so once the stenographer says that okay, this is the final, he or she just he goes puts in the token and he digitally signs it. And once it's digital signed, now it's ready. Now it's ready for upload. So the stenographer, if he or she is very skilled, can immediately go to CIS, log into CIS and upload the order right away. That is also there. Usually what happens, this work is distributed because the stenographer has to type all the depositions and all that, but she might be caught up, so the peshkar also can do it. Now what is the job of the peshkar is that whatever case proceeding, whatever is happening today, like, okay, who are the parties who came, who is present, who is absent, all that will be reflected in the order sheet, no doubt. But in the case information system also, there are certain tabs where you need to, the peshkar needs to populate all this with whatever happened today. In short, the business. What is the business today? This parties came and they were examined. He just has to write the short summary form in the business. Then he has to, the judge will say that, okay, the next date is this, so he or she has to give the next date. And what is the next stage of the case? Also, he or she just, and so all this job is done, and then he clicks submit in his case information system, and that's it. Whatever you did is digitized, and now it's available to anybody. Now, how will that be available is that, in our courts in Gyalshing, I'll just take for example, just Gyalshing, okay, because that's where I work. So, in Gyalshing what happens is, once all the stenographer does her job, she uploads her order, and the peshkar also, he fills in populates all the tabs, and then after that, today's that current proceeding is tagged or captured in the local server. The local server, all the courts in Sikkim have a local server, and this local server, so I will just give you, before I say local server, so this all is connected through a LAN, a little local area network. Means it's all wired, all the computers are wired and connected through a LAN, which is further connected to the WAN. WAN is what? Wide area network. What is the wide area network? It is the network which is closed only for the courts. Meaning what? There are 4 district courts, okay, 6 district courts in Sikkim, and these 6 district courts are all connected, wired with internet access. Who does it? The NIC, National Informatics Center, NIC. They provide the internet, but who operationalizes it is BSNL. BSNL, he or she, they go all over, they have already done this. They went all over the courts, they supply the fiber optics, and then connected to the server in each court. And now all so all the 4 courts are connected through a NIC network, we say, and the fiber channel. So they are all connected, and this connection is known as a wide area network. Means all over Sikkim we are in a uniform in the NIC connectivity. And now inside the court, all the computers of the stenographer, the LDA, the peshkar, there are different technical sections. These are all connected through the wire with a LAN, a local area network. So whenever the peshkar clicks the submit button in case information system, this data gets transmitted directly to the server in the local court, in the local server. And at the end of the day, the technical person like me, I will go, and my job would be, whatever happened today is captured. Now my job is to, actually, as our CIS is updated to 4.0, so I don't need to do that also. But I only need to do I need to transmit all the orders which were uploaded. That has to be transmitted to the server that is there in NIC Pune. NIC Pune, there is a huge big server which is collecting all the information of all the courts all over India. That's what I'm saying. All over India is connected in this big server, and it is being stored in NIC. From NIC, it is being this data is being supplied to where? To the NJDG, to the National Judicial Data Grid. The National Judicial Data Grid is a website or a portal which captures all the case details of all the cases all over the country. There are around 56 lakhs cases in the NJDG available easily in the real time right now. So that is the gist of what I was wanting to tell you about the connectivity, how your data is fed, and how it is transmitted. Okay, so moving on. Now, the case information system. So Ubuntu I talked about, library writer. So I even talked about digitization. Okay, now one of the very important aspects of digitization is that your order that you wrote there in the library writer, that is not only enough. After you sign it also, that is also not enough. Why? Because this order is editable text format. Now this order has to be in a readable, accessible PDF format. So the PDF format is your output. Whatever work did you do, everything is shown in that PDF format. Now, so that's why the PDF format becomes very important. PDF, why it is PDF? Now, so there are different types of PDF. We all know in general there is just a PDF, okay? But these days, what is required, like my colleague was talking about artificial intelligence, all this to work, our PDF should be searchable. For that to work, because a PDF, if you just store that document as a PDF, what happens is that if it is not searchable, it just becomes like a photo or an image. You can't read what is there, all the orders. So that's why it is very important, your judges, new judges have to understand that the PDF also has to be of better quality in terms of your output. So that is your output is the PDF, which is the most important output. And that PDF has to be of very good quality. For example, let's say for example, the PDF that we printed, that we all are so aware of, we just read it and that's it. But in order to be effective, it has to be in PDF/A. This is a new format. It has to have attributes A. I exactly don't know what that is, but that is once it is stored in the PDF/A, what happens is that your output is readable by the computer also. And once it is readable by the computer, what happens? Then you can use it for even more work, or even more. It has more functionalities. Let's say. So your minimum would be that you should be able to save that document as a PDF/A format to make it very functional. A PDF would be a simple one, but let's take for example, let's just say that of gold you have 18 karat gold, 22 karat gold, and then 24 karat gold. Now if we take this PDF, if it is gold, then that PDF that you just generated, that's an 18 karat gold. Now if you save it in a PDF/A, it becomes a 22 karat gold, more valuable, it has more functionality. And then if you even store it in a PDF/A-1A, that is a 24 karat gold. That PDF document is very valuable because now it is stored in PDF-A-1A format. Why is that? Because now your PDF is not only searchable, but it can be preserved for the long term. That is, when you're gone also, it will be preserved. Why? See, and it will be PDF-1A. Why is it 24 karat gold? Because that document becomes technology. It will not be technology obsolete. Like for example, right now we are in 2025. Just 5 years before, we didn't have so many things. Now suddenly we have so many things. The technology is so advanced that we are talking about AI and all that also. Now just imagine 20 years down the line, the technology will be so advanced that there are so many softwares which is going to be obsolete and something new is going to come up. But for your order that you just generated over there, in order to stay for the long-term preservability, what happens? If it is stored in PDF-A1A format, this becomes like a source document. Means in future, if the technology is so advanced also, it can pick up this PDF-1A format. They might not understand PDF also, they might not understand, is it not valuable for that? 20 years down the line, that software might not find PDF very valuable, not even PDF-A, but PDF-A is also for long-term archival. Oh sorry, yes, the A stands for archival, means it can be preserved for a long time and it will be compatible to anything which comes up in future also. So that is how you need to digitize your work, in other words. And then, so in the same way, just like you all also digitize, in the same way the advocates also now. Before, what used to happen traditionally is that the advocates, they used to, in order to file an adjournment, what you do, you send your junior, and that junior has to go to the court, and then he has to submit that document in the court and say that my senior is adjourning today. Now maybe that senior has many cases in many courts, maybe in Gyalshing, in Namchi, in Gangtok. He has to send that adjournment to each and every court and have somebody go and put it up to the judge, a person. But now that thing is being cut by e-filing 3.0. E-filing 3.0, that advocate, he will be sitting on his chair, although he has to have a computer. Okay, the prerequisites for an advocate to operationalize his e-filing 3.0 is that he has to have a computer, he has to have a scanner. Scanner these days is very important because we just take a photo and just take a photo, it doesn't work. Because the photo is, you can't, it's not visible, it doesn't have, but once you scan it properly and put it in PDF-A, he has a 22-carat thing, he can just send it anywhere. In e-filing 3.0, he can log into the portal, and his adjournment also can, in e-filing 3.0 also has templates also. You can even download that template, make your changes right there, and then convert it into PDF and immediately upload it in e-filing 3.0, and from the e-filing 3.0, he can distribute his adjournment to the different bots that he's working in an instant, sitting in one real time. So that is the value, or that is what happens when we use this technology. So e-filing 3.0. So I have taken you through. Are you all understanding what I'm saying? Is it okay? So whatever work judicial officer work that is also being digitized. Whatever the filing, whatever they want, the advocates want to file before a case is filed, or if he wants to do it, he can, the advocate, he or she can use e-filing 3.0 to digitize and also to operationalize whatever he wants to do in e-filing 3.0. Now, all this data that we have sent to the NJDG, to the server in Pune, how is that useful? Is through this portal called as the National Judicial Data Grid. And also the National Judicial Data Grid is also not only for accessibility. So once you go to National Judicial Data Grid, you will be able to see all the cases that are there, what are the pending cases, what are not pending, why it is pending. All there is a feature known as delay reason also in CIS, where we have, suppose our case is around 2 or 3 years old, we can immediately say that yes, this case is 3 years old because it is stayed by the High Court. We can at least write, there is a button or tab over there where you can delay reason, where you can write this case is delayed for 2 years because it has been stayed by the High Court. Before that, this thing was not there because the case would have been there for 4 or 5 years, but there would have been no reason why this case, and somebody would question, why is this your case still there in your court? You know the answer, but you are not able to show it. But now in CIS, there is a tab where the patient can just say that yes, this is 3 years old because of such and such reason, it has been stayed by the High Court, or the parties are not, you can write whatever reason and that will be reflected immediately. Somebody wants to know why this case is delayed for so long, they can immediately know, okay, it is stayed by the High Court. So that is easily reflected once you put all that in CIS and in the NJDG. So NJDG is also a portal for monitoring of all the judicial officers' work also. The High Court wants to monitor one of the judicial officer, maybe they want to, before what used to happen, the High Court used to have to travel all the way to the district and then check all their files, see what happened to this case, that case. But now the High Court, they can monitor sitting on their desk and they can just see why this case, how many cases are pending, everything, it is being monitored in the NJDG. Now this data in the NJDG, the 56 lakhs cases which is available right now in the NJDG, is now again leveraged by the E-Committee to, with the use of textual search and with the use of text, I am not getting that word, anyway, with the use of the data in the NJDG is leveraged to be used in a portal known as ESCR. ESCR is Judgment Search Portal. This Judgment Search Portal, it is a portal for the advocates to easily search whatever judgment they are looking for. They can easily log on to this ESCR. Not only advocates, learned judges yourselves, advocates, accommodations, law students, general public, anybody can just go log into ESCR, and in the ESCR you just need to free text search. You can write any word that you want, and you want to have a judgment which is relevant to that particular case, it will be displayed here. So there are a huge, so this is a free service that is being provided by the E-Committee, although there are other softwares like Manupatra and all this, these all have to be paid. So why is all this is happening is so that the E-Committee wants to make people who cannot afford to buy all these portals or websites or pay to they can now, it's a game changer. Now anybody can access these judgments and for whatever judgment. I'm not saying it is not so good as the Manupatra and all that. Manupatra might be good, but the basic where you go is E-Sewa. So that is another portal that I'll be talking to you about. And then, like my colleague also talked about E-Sewa. Now we are all talking about digitization and all this, but the reality is that in our district courts, what happens? There are so many people who are not educated. I mean, they don't know what they just come there just to get their justice. There are lots of poor people, especially in Soreng and Gyalshing and all. There are lots of in Mangan. There are people who don't know anything about how to operate a computer. They don't know anything about computers. So for people like this is where E-Sewa Kendra is, to fix the digital divide. We use phones and everything, but there are many people who are still behind all this. They don't know how to use phones or what is this eCourts, or they don't understand what this is. They just understand how. So in order to facilitate these people, and also to follow the lawyers and all who don't have a computer and a scanner in their offices, they can use that E-Sewa Kendra to do the e-filing. At least they can learn how to do e-filing so that they can do if they don't have computers in their chambers, they can take their files, go to the E-Sewa Kendra, and E-Sewa Kendra is always manned by a person over there, a technical person who has this knowledge about filing, and then other, like my friends at cause list and all that, they can all be derived in that E-Sewa Kendra. So E-Sewa Kendra has a computer with a camera computer and a scanner. So the litigants and the lawyers who are not up to speed or who don't know about or tech savvy about all this technology, they can go and use E-Sewa Kendra to use these services that are being given by eCourts. So that is what the gist of what I wanted to tell you. Now, and yeah, also I give you a scenario of how we capture, digitize our workflow. Now, if there is a case where there is an IO, he needs to be examined, but the courtroom in Gyalshing wants that IO to be examined, but that IO was, the case was of year before last year, and then IO was the IO then, but now he has been promoted to something else and he has been transferred somewhere else, maybe in Mangan. And it's very hard for him to come all the way to Gyalshing and then again depose about that case which is 2 years old. So how can you make this possible? Through the use of ICT is through video conferencing. Video conferencing, the scenario would be the judge is there, and then judge will have another computer also beside him, other than the display where the stenographer is connected. There is another computer which is attached to a camera. And in that camera, the judge can see the IO who is deposing from Mangan. Now there are certain rules that has to be followed, certain procedures in order to do this video conferencing. So suppose somebody wants to, if that IO is in Mangan, he is now the SP maybe, and he wants to depose, but he is unable to come because he's too busy, then what he needs to do is that as soon as he receives the summon, he or she, there is a video conferencing form. There is a form where he has to write when is his case, what time is it, which court is it. He has to fill all that up. He has to email it to the relevant court. Like for Gyalshing, he will email it to Gyalshing. In Gyalshing, we will receive it. We'll see that, okay, this IO wants to come for video conferencing. Now in Gyalshing, me, the court point coordinator, I will see this and then I will place it to the judge. Now the judge has to say whether this VC is allowed or not. If the judge says that no, I think IO has to come to me, then he can cancel that form right then and there. But if the judge says, okay, it's valid, he is in Mangan and it is really a problem, so I can hear him through VC, then the judge says, okay, fine, and then the judge signs it and gives it to me, the court point coordinator, and now it is my job to assign that person to a specific date and inform him that yes, okay, it is allowed now and you can appear, but he or she has to appear in one of the courts in that district. He can't just appear from his house and just VC, no. He has to go to the court. For now, take for example, I'm here, and now I want him to appear. Now I have given the permission that he can come by VC, so next thing he has to do, the court point coordinator, I have to notify the Mangan court saying that this such and such person IO is going to be giving or hearing this date is set on that certain date, and he needs to appear. So now the Mangan, the official in Mangan, the remote point coordinator will be ready. Okay, he or she will be ready, and he will take all the contact of that person, and then on that relevant day, the person, the IO will come to Mangan court, and then he will talk with the remote point coordinator and say that everything is set up. And so the IO also has to bring his ID card also. And then when the case is being taken up, I connect, the court point coordinator connects, the court point coordinator supplies the link to be connected for the remote point coordinator. I supply that link to the remote point coordinator, and the remote point coordinator logs in. Usually the software or the software that is used is, or the portal we use is jitsi.org, JITSI. This we have been using ever since the pandemic, and till now in Gyalshing court we have conducted around 2,000 video conferencing sessions, actually using all Jitsi, JITSI, jitsi.org. This is the, because it is free also, we just need to log into it, and then we can get our VC. So now the remote court point connected coordinator connects this remote, this IO through the VC, and so when the IO is there in Mangan court, in the VC facilitation center, where he's in front of the computer, the remote point coordinator also has to be with him to see if there are any glitches. In technology, there will be many glitches. Sometimes they don't be, but now we have to all power through it. We have to get solve the issues and power through it. So the remote point coordinator will sit while the witness, the IO, is deposing. He or she has to remain with that IO till the end of the session. He can't just go out and then let him just depose like that also. So that, and other persons also can't just come in and sit with the IO and talk and depose. It's a very serious matter. The IO is allowed only to be with the remote point coordinator. And when the session ends in Gyalshing court, now the session has ended, and so even the judge also writes in his or her order that this case was taken up in VC. That also, that facility is also there in CIS, where you can just tick mark that yes, this case was in VC. So we all understand. It is also written in the order that such and such IO was produced before me, and we examined through VC through Mangan court. It will be all detailed in the order. And once the order is signed, now how do we do the deposition? Now that deposition is recorded by the stenographer in Gyalshing court, but that IO is in Mangan. Now he or she has to sign it to make it valid. So the stenographer prints it out, gives it to the court point coordinator. The court point coordinator takes it to the scanning section. He scans it, makes a PDF-A out of it, and then emails it to the remote point coordinator in Mangan. And in Mangan, the remote point coordinator prints it out again, okay? And then once it prints out, but before printing up, before the court point coordinator sends it to Mangan, the judge will already have to have signed it. Seeing if the deposition okay, signs it, and then it is sent to Mangan. And once it is received in Mangan, the witness who is still there waiting to have his signature there, so he or she signs the signature, and once it is signed, now the remote point coordinator again, he or she scans it, makes it a PDF-A, emails it to Gyalshing. And then the Gyalshing, the record that is there, is again printed out in Gyalshing, having the signatures of not only the judge, but the witness that is there in Mangan. So he or she prints it out over here, and then he keeps it in record. Now the remote point coordinator's job is still not over. He or she, that original document, he or she also has to post it by mail also. But by mail, if it posted, it takes a long time. But usually what I do is that we send our process server. Whenever our process server goes to Gyalshing or Mangan, or for example, the process server of Mangan, whenever he or she has to bring a process to Gyalshing, then he or she brings that original document also and submits it to the Peshkar, District and Sessions Court. And then the Peshkar receives also the duplicate, not duplicate, the email copy also, and then that original copy, both copies have to be put in the file. So this is general idea of what, but in the rules for video conferencing, it is more detailed. The rules of video conferencing has been framed by consulting many people, so many stakeholders, and they have detailed everything that has to happen according to procedure in video conferencing. Yes, please. Yeah, you can speak. Yes, yes, please.
I just wanted to ask whether it is appear from video conferencing, or are there any specific provisions prescribed or the rules prescribed as to the in which cases a person has to come
Yeah, it is
personally?
the sole discretion of the judge, him or herself, whether this VC has to take place or not. However, for the advocates, suppose the advocate has to appear through VC, then the judge takes a lenient view and says that it's okay, not lenient too, but he usually allows it. But when it is the witness has to be appeared, it is the sole discretion of the judge. But these days what happens, the advocates, most of the advocates, they appear through VC. Well, once the advocate is appearing through VC, he or she doesn't need to get a remote point coordinator and all that. He or she can just sit in his chamber and appear also. But that is if the judge allows it. That is also there. But usually the judge says that, okay, fine, the advocate can allow it. And it also depends on the court point coordinator also, whether he or she is free also, and whether the facilities are there or not, or is not engaged by somebody else. All this has to be determined, and then we can say allowed or not allowed, like that. Yes.
Is there, what are the things that has to be looked upon in order to allow any person to appear through VC? Is there any criteria as such? No?
Yes. So once the IU comes, for example, we are talking about the IU. He has to, before the case starts, he or she has to show his ID card on the screen, and then this ID card. Yeah. Before that, even the exhibits have to be sent by the court point coordinator to the remote point coordinator through email. He can't just WhatsApp it to the IO and say that you take a look and you read. No, he or she has to the exhibits which has to be shown in front of him has to be emailed prior by the court point coordinator to the remote point coordinator. Remote point coordinator has to print out all this and place it before the IO. Then the case can start. This is another way. Yeah. So. Here, sir wanted to know about civil criminal process, about processes, no? You were talking about warrant and summons, yes. So, should I directly go into it, or should I go in this topic-wise? Or should I attack it directly, whatever you want?
So you can go topic-wise.
Oh, okay, okay. So,
I have a question.
yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, you had mentioned about after the judges, they are okay with allowing the video conferencing.
Yes.
Then in that, after that, the court point coordinator, they fix the date, or is it the judge who fixes the date?
The date is actually already fixed. So that's why what happens these days, the problem is that the witnesses and all, they are not aware that they have to send the form 1 week prior, so that the court point coordinator also can get all his devices and everything proper. But like suppose tomorrow is the case, today he'll send it. Now it depends on the court point coordinator to say whether yes, the VC can go through or not, because he also will be engaged in so many things. So, but if the judge says that, okay, no, this IO is very important, we should not miss it, although he didn't do it 7 days prior, but we still should go through the VC. If the judge says, then the court point coordinator, I have to manage everything and make sure that the VC happens. It all is all on the judge actually. Yes, yes, ma'am. Any other questions? Whatever I said now? Yes.
That we have to make an application 1 week before
Yeah.
for appearing in VC.
Yeah.
So is it this 1 week flexible?
Yeah, I think it is flexible. Actually, you have to go through the rules exactly to see what exactly is the rules, but in our courts, what we are making it flexible. Actually, even costs also can be imposed, because all that exhibits and all that, it has to email, maybe sometimes it has to be transmitted via post and all that. There are certain costs involved, but till now we have not taken any costs. We are just managing ourselves on it, making sure that the VC goes through. But in the rules, it has been framed that there are lots of costs and there are lots of. Ma'am, could you tell me your question again? I just.
I asked that you told that you have to file an application to
Yes,
appear
yes,
for VC
yes.
1 week prior.
Yes, yes.
So is this 1 week flexible?
Flexible or not? Yes, I think till now we are working, it is flexible. Actually, just if the witness can send it at least 3 or 4 days prior also, it would be good. But if tomorrow is the case and he or she sends it today, basically, usually it happens with the lawyers and all. Tomorrow they are appearing, they'll say, today only I want to appear through VC only. So we make it flexible. We allow it actually. The judge, it depends on the judge also. The judge also will have to be okay and satisfied. Okay, fine, you can go through it. It is up to the judge only actually. Yes. Yes. The case number, cause title, proposed date of conference, location of the court point, that is Gyalshing in the example that I told you. The remote point is Mangan, it will be Mangan. Name and designation, the IO is name. Reasons for video conferencing is because I'm too far away, or the road is broke due to monsoon, I'm sick, or I can't travel, I can't be mobile. Nature of proceedings, whether it's final, motion, or others, this he or she can. Then he or she has to sign it over here. And then this, after this, it will be transmitted by email to the court point. And in the court point, after the judge allows it, is allowed, then the court point coordinator sets the hearing and transmits this information again back to the witness. And then the VC will be sent. So this is the format. It's very simple. And then there are lots of schedules. So this is the video conference rules for video conferencing 2020, which was developed in 2020 for the High Court of Sikkim and its subordinate courts. Whenever you have time, you can go through it. It's a little bit long. So here it's saying whatever I told you that time, it's all about that. The remote point coordinator, the road court point coordinator, what are the facilities that has to be ready, whether advocate or record person is at the following remote. Okay, so the remote point coordinator, for example, for forensics is another thing. So somebody is appearing for forensics, wants to do an exhibit from Ranipul, CFSL Ranipul or CFSL Assam. So usually in these cases, when the person cannot travel, then they fill up the form and then they submit it. Now, if it is a CFSL Assam, then there has to be the remote point coordinator has to be nominated by the HOD there, and the remote point coordinator is usually a person who is of gazetted rank, the remote point coordinator. In the courts, it will be somebody who is designated by the judge himself, her himself, an officer by the judge. But if in an organization like, for example, CFSL Ranipul or in Assam, there the HOD will designate that, okay, this gazetted officer may act as the remote point coordinator for that particular case. And yes, also, once the deposition is sent to the remote point, and when it is signed by that witness, even the remote point coordinator also will have to sign in that document. There has to be two signatures. One is for the witness and for the remote point coordinator also. So this all has been detailed in this rules. So it is talking about here, forensic science lab. The administrative officer in charge or their nominee is the remote point coordinator. So there are certain things that has to be ensured, and there are procedures. So, sirs and ma'ams, you can read this whenever you are free. You just type in Google video conferencing rules 2020, it will come up. Also, I will just tell you, as I am already here now, for the summons also. And step. First of all, okay, I think I should start with case information system, because you are not aware. Only after you are aware about the case information system, then you will be aware of and step and how it works. So, okay, I'll start with the case information system. So, in our courts, the case information system is in the version 4.0. It has been updated from 1, 2, 3, and now it's in this. It's in 4.0. The login of the case information system. How to access the case information system? You have to type in the URL in your web browser. In the web, you might have there are two web browsers that we usually use. One is Firefox and the other one is Google Chrome. In this example, you can see this is Google Chrome. So in the browser, we need to type this 10.182.76.200. This is our Gyalshing courts link. This is available only for the court staff and whoever are working in that local area network, which is connected. So the 10.182.76.200 is the WAN. that is the NIC network that we are connected, /SW-Court-IS, this is the CIS. So once you type this, so you can take it down, or you might not take it down, but this it will vary for different. Sorry. This is the this is the main server. This is the main link for all courts. All court, whenever they want to access CIS, they have to type this 10.182. I'm confused. Actually, yeah, this is for our Gyalshing court, but at least for our Gyalshing court. So you can see CIS 4.0. So the login. So now when the Peshkar is logging in, the Peshkar will be assigned a login ID or login credentials. In the same way, I'm the system administrator, I have been assigned login credentials. So who assigns the login credentials? The technical team himself or herself. Even the judge also can have a login ID. So there is a login ID in our courts for one is for the judge, one is for the Peshkar, one is for the stenographer, and one is for the LDA, lower divisional assistant. The LDA is always working with the Peshkar. So you can see the establishment. In our CIS is designed in such a way that there are 4 establishments. So this is the establishment of district and sessions court. When you click here, there will be a drop-down menu. There will be 3 more establishments. So the 4 establishments are district and sessions court, establishment of chief judicial magistrate, establishment of civil judge senior division, and establishment of judge family court. These are the 4 establishments in CIS. Now, once you log in, this is your first dashboard. So immediately you can see on the screen, it's your dashboard. In your dashboard, all the details are right then and there. What are the cases today? Undated cases. Undated cases, this is a very important tab that you have to look out for. Undated cases means whatever cases was done today, and then whatever cases, in other words, you can say that if the Peshkar has not done his job, it will reflect here in the undated case. If the Peshkar has not populated all the proceedings, then tomorrow he has not submitted the button. Tomorrow when you come up, you'll see that case 1, undated case 1 will be here. Meaning you have to be alert. Means that the relevant entry or your work has not been digitized. You should understand that yesterday's work, I did my work, but it was not digitized. You will have to understand immediately that it's not digitized, and you have to tell the Peshkar what happened to this case, whether you did the proceedings or not, whether it's digitized or not, in simple words. So that is undated cases, and then there are institution received transfer, how many cases got transferred to your court, what are your disposals this month, how many cases did you dispose this month, what are your pending cases for civil, criminal, what are the total, what is the dormant sine die, and then there are other tabs like Lok Adalat, judgments not uploaded, means the stenographer, that order or judgment, did he or she upload it, or there are many judgments which are not uploaded. This actually, there is a little bit glitch actually in our system. It's showing many judgments which are not uploaded. Actually, it's all uploaded, but it has to still be sorted out. So that's what CIS 4.0, 3.0, this is all being modified every day. It's being modified and it's becoming more and more polished. What's happening in the phase 3 of our eCourts project. And then pending. Okay, so this is your display unit for a dashboard. Even the judges can use it. He or she can see exactly what is happening. And on the right hand, or over here, can you see here, your establishment. This is for the establishment of district and session judge. Now if you want to switch your establishment, go to civil judge, then there is on the third, I can't show it here because there is no CIS here, but it is in a screenshot. You just need to select your establishment, and your establishment, the relevant dashboard will be displayed accordingly. So on the left hand side, if you see this blue thing here, this is your main tab where all your case proceedings, your entries will be made by the Peshkars through this only. I'll show you the next. So it'll be when this tab, in this next tab is when everything happens. Over here, the Peshkar directly, he or she goes to case proceedings. When the case is starting, he directly goes to case proceedings. He goes to daily proceedings and then case proceedings. There are many tabs here. Over the days and years when you'll be using CIS, then you'll come to understand what is all. But right now, I just want you to focus on just this, the case proceedings. directly you go to the case proceedings, and then the peshkar's job. Now, if it is a civil case, he'll select civil, or if it's a criminal case here, if it is a POCSO case, then he has to select here. If it is he clicks on this, the POCSO case will come up, he has to select, and once the POCSO, then now he has to fill in what is the business today, what happened today. So I'll show you the next. So this is the business, see. So this is the criminal case, ST case 3 of 2023, State versus Roshan Guru. This is where the peshkar makes entries over here. Learned PP that PW is unable to attend today due to some work and prays for time. Okay. Now court event, he has to even put this also. What happened today? This court event is whether there was a witness examination. Usually it is for witness examination. If there was an adjournment, what kind of adjournment was that? You can select that also over here. And then the most important is always the next date. The next date, once it fits here, half the job is done. And then, what is the purpose of listing for the next date? Yes, for the next date is evidence. And then if there are some exhibits which have been exhibited also, like MO1, MO2, MO3, you can all populate this tab also with all the exhibits that have been thing. And then there is some purpose, and then he has to click next. Once he clicks next, so again, once he clicks next, then he'll be taken to a different tab where he has to do the final submission. That I didn't capture it seems, but that when you have a detailed training on CIS, or when you're using the CIS, you come to know yourself. You can also try it in a dummy server in your court. This is the main server, so we can't just use it just like that. In the dummy server, you can use it also, and then you can just try it out in order to learn in future. So also, this is an example of a civil case, a title suit case 1 of 2021. And so see the business, the plaintiff pays for time, the next date is given. What is the purpose for the next date is for the reply. And then over here the order passed also you can even select. And even whether it was on VC, you can just tick it. If it was on VC, you just tick this, that's it, job done. Process list, like sir, you was asking about the summons. So these days summons also can be generated through CIS only, and whatever processes or summons had been generated, you can track it in real time over here only. So through this process view list also. This is a new feature for CIS 4.0. Now I'll tell you what the stenographer does. Stenographer, she or she goes to case proceedings, he directly goes to orders and templates. In orders and template, I'm just giving you an example of order and judgment. You can even take out a template. The stenographer also can get a template from the CIS. See, for example, what kind of, there are different here committal order, what kind of order you want. So if you select committal order, you generate template. What happens is that this templates get generated in her Libre writer. Now you can edit it. See, this is the template which is generated when I just did generate a template. See, all the CNR number is there, this QR code is there, here all the judge's name, everything is already populated by the computer itself. You just need to make some changes here. Something like your AI also, like when you're doing GPT and all that, you will be getting a suggestion or a template on which you can work, and you can read, you have to read properly whether it's correct or not, you have to verify for yourself, and then you can make the changes accordingly to yours, whether it suits you. That's how you use AI also, or a template for example. And also I would also want to tell you about the CNR number. Every case in this case information system has a unique number, just like your Aadhaar number, which is unique to you yourself. So every case is unique to itself. And for every case there is a, usually what we do is, what kind of case, title suit case 1 of 2020, that is also one way to go about it when we are using the eCourts services. Another thing is by entering the CNR number, the unique number. This is now slowly in our paperless courts and all that. It is very important that you know about the CNR number, because we are going to, everything is designed according to the CNR number, just like everything is designed through our other number exactly. So for this case, the CNR number is a 16-digit code. It's very easy to read the CNR number. Please don't get confused that it is very complicated. First SK. SK means where? Sikkim. GZ. GZ is gazing. And 01. 01 is the establishment of district and session judge. 02 would be Chief Judicial Magistrate. 3 would be Civil Judge. 4 would be Family Court. And then after that there are 6 numbers in order to give a unique number. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 000 till 69. This is the place where you can, where the computer generates unique numbers. And then 2023 is the year. So this is how you read the CNR number. First the state of Sikkim, gazing district, establishment, the number of the case, and the year. It's very simple. Now, judgment writing. Okay, so the stenographer, he or she can generate a template also, but his primary work, her primary work is to, the order which was digitally signed or signed and in PDF now has to be uploaded. How to upload it? This, when they click on this, you see all this, like whether it's digital signed or not, what kind of order. These orders have already been uploaded. When you just click here, you'll see the order which is uploaded. Now, for a new order to be uploaded, you have to go down here, choose file. So that PDF is stored in one of his documents folder. He just chooses it and he navigates to that folder, and then he selects it here. And after he selects it, he has to press the upload button. Once the upload button is a little bit below here, and once he clicks the upload button, it gets 100%, means uploaded, submit, that's it. The order gets uploaded into the CIS or the NGDG. And you can also specify what kind of order it is, daily order or judgment usually. And so yes, now summons. How to generate a new summon? How to generate a summon? So usually there are the end step or generation of summons in CIS is broken up into 3 steps. One is the step of the first step is for the Peshkar or his staff, junior staff, lower divisional assistant. He or she works here in this page. He or she has to go to, the user has to go to civil criminal process. You have to process generation. Once the process generation entered, then you here in the addressee type you have to, it automatically picks up for this case. First you have to go which case, and then what kind of process, whether to appear in person. And once you put appear in person for this particular case, when he selects the number, the addressee details and all gets populated automatically in the CIS. So once they, I just showed you one page on actually. Anyway, once get populated, and then he can even generate a draft process. Once he populates all the LDA makes all the entries, and when you click next, save, you have to go to the, I won't show you detail, but I'll just tell you just a summary. He or she has to click on save, then he or she will go to the user will be taken to the next page. There a summons will be generated, which is a draft summons. After the draft summons, if he or she has to review it, whether the summons, the next date, everything is proper or not. If everything is proper, then he or she just needs to publish process. You go here, publish process. Once the process is published, then it is there for consumption in any other platform. So the LDA's job is done. Once he or she clicks publish process, then it is LDA's job is done. Then it is the job of the Nazir. The Nazir, what he or she does is that he doesn't use the CIS. He will have to go to another portal or another platform known as NSTEP. NSTEP is National Service Tracking of Electronic Process. eCourts. Courts.gov.in. Courts.gov.in. Anyway, so the NSTEP is another website where the Nazir will access it. The Nazir will have his or her login details, and once he logs in, he will see whatever process had been generated from that CIS. He will be able to view it then and there. Whatever was generated by the LDA over here in the CIS, that process will be shown in his N-step portal. And from the N-step portal, the Nazir after that will assign the summon, the particular summon, to a process server in that N-step portal only. And once he clicks submit over there, then that summons will go directly to the app in the process server's phone. Process server is provided with a mobile phone from the High Court, and he or she has to, the user has to download the N-step app from the link, and then the process which was generated from the LDA goes to the Nazir redistributes it to the process server, and then the process server views it in his or her phone. And that is how we come to this manual. So I will just, and so this is a process server's phone. This is the process server's phone. Here it will be Sikkim, his mobile number, and the OTP which is generated prior. The user will just log in, the process server, also known as bailiff or process server, and then this is the process that gets from here. So you can see notice to respondent on the day fixed for hearing. So these are the processes which have all been sent by the Nazir to the process server in his or her phone. And once it is here, the process server goes to the location to serve this notice. And once he finds that person, whoever he has to serve this notice to, then he can also view the process here also. You can view the process here. Let me show it here. You can view the process here also. And then once he views the process, he shows it to that person who is serving it to. And once that person gets the hard copy of the process also, the process server takes a photo of that person, and he gives the phone to the person like this, and also even you can use your finger or pen, I guess, and then he just signs it over there. And another most important thing is, next is the GPS coordinates of where the process server was during that time. That also gets captured, and when it gets captured, then he can just served. He can just click served on party, confirm and upload. Once it uploads, immediately this information is relayed to the CIS itself. It directly goes to the CIS here. It directly goes to this page here. As you can see, a civil criminal process, and right down, if you go down, process generation, okay, you can even track that process acknowledgement, this tab. If you click this tab, the LDA clicks this tab, if the process has been served on the party, then it will immediately be reflected here, whether it's served or unserved. So the judicial officer also can go directly log into the CIS and check the process in real time. Judicial officer doesn't need to call the process server to the courtroom and say whether it was served or not served. He or she can directly go to the process acknowledgement, and if he sees that it's served, the judicial officer can even print out and put it as part of his record, of his or her record, to show that the process was served. He doesn't need to bring this process server, doesn't need to come, but only on other instances, for some other reasons, he can be brought forward. But in other words, the processes can be tracked digitally by the judicial officer without calling the process server also. Even the Nazir also can track it, even the judicial officer or the Peshkar also can track it. So the civil criminal process, these days, I'll tell you the current scenario right now. What is happening is that after the phase 3 project was implemented and everything was to be digitized and all that, we are right now, the process servers are printing the summons in their traditional method also. And they are doing it simultaneously because of the fact that one day the traditional method is going to be cut and we are only going to adopt the digital method where we are going to sign. But why we are not ready is because that party whom this process has to be served, he or she is not digitally, he might not be digitally tech savvy or he might not have a phone. So that's why that original which has been generated, or summons which has been generated from the court, has to be given in his hand only. And these days, if you just send it through the phone also, if whatever is sent in the phone, they are not serious about it. Oh, there are no stamps, I'm not going to the summons because it is not valid, they might say. So that's why these days, presently, the process server, he gives the hard copy also, and then he takes a photo of it, and then he serves it also. So he's doing both things. He's doing digital thing also, and the traditional method also. Right now, that's how processes are being served that way these days. So now e-filing 3.0. I have to sit here. So I will just show you what happens in e-filing. So before e-filing, so before a case is filed, the advocate, the parties come to the advocate, and then the parties brief the advocate about his or her case, and then the advocate has to draft his case, and he has to, several papers in support of the case are submitted by the advocates or litigants in the courts. These legal papers are called as pleadings, plaints, written statements, documents, etc.
Against in the court. In legal terms,
I'll just say for this advocate, and this is the advocate can see their dashboard. So he can see what are the draft pleadings he has submitted, and I was talking to you about my partners. So you can add partners from here. When you click this add partner, then you can select which advocate you want to add. Suppose see, all the advocates' details are already fit into this portal, so you can partner with anyone. And then you just need to click submit. Once you click submit, the person this person Ashok Pradhan, if he also logs into his e-filing, he will see up here that there is a handshake. There will be a handshake kind of thing, and he or she has to just click on that. And if he wants to partner, he can just submit and say that add partner. Once that is done, even the client also can do the same thing. Once they are all done, then their pleadings which have been drafted and which have been stored in this portal, they can all work simultaneously. He or she can asynchronously work in the same time collaboratively on that case. They can choose, they can edit all the pleadings and all that asynchronous manner. So this is another feature of e-filing 3.0. And then you have your completed pleadings, your draft IAs, completed IAs, whatever objections, what are the different cases that you have, in which court do you have, you can see all when, you even have a calendar here you can see the sessions case, these are all disclosed cases on which date all the information is all available to the advocate for his or her case. That's the main thing. Here you can even have a calendar, whenever your next dates are all given, it is automatically populated, and so you know exactly which date you are free also. That is also you can do. So new filing, in order to file a new case, this is how you do it. I will not get into the details of it. See, you have to fill in all the details, the litigant, in fact. So in other words, before we used to do filing, that is through that fora. Fora means filing, objection, registration and allocation. Now that filing work used to be, the advocate used to bring his and her papers to the Judicial Service Center, and in the Judicial Service Center, the technical person used to access the CIS, go to the fora, that is the filing tab, and in the filing tab, he used to, filing tab is somewhere here. In the CIS, they used to go to the filing tab, and then it's not being shown over here, but there is up here somewhere. There is a filing tab. In the Judicial Service Center, the technical person used to access the filing and then take the documents and then fill in everything. But now, in e-filing 3.0, the advocate himself has to do all this work. That is better because the advocate will know exactly what are the details. And then the other thing about CIS is that at the source, whatever data, as much data, if it is fed, the better, because later you will have less problems. If there are some data missing and later, for example, even for the summons or the addresses and all, if it is exactly correct, even if in the address tab, even the landmark if is also is given, is more specific, then in the civil criminal process, the address will be much more easier for the process server also. Means everything is also the source, the data entry at the start is the most important thing. So here the advocates will enter all the data, the litigant information, the fact details, the case details, and then you click on e-file. Once you click on e-file, our e-filing number is generated. After that, then you have to go to pleadings. Then you can use any template of here. For example, if you want to use a template as a plaint. Anyway, in one of the plaint, if you just submit, if once the e-filing number is generated, it will be here. If you just submit, then the template for the plaint will also come up. Just like I showed you in that CIS template. Same way, a template can be generated here, and then the advocate can work in their word processor, and then again convert it into PDF and upload it as a pleading over here also, as a final pleading. Also, your video recording of the oath also is possible. Even the IA applications also can be filed. Your adjournment, everything can be also filed from here also. These authentication tabs are for e-signing and all that. So you have a portfolio where you can see all types of cases. If you're using a eCourts services mobile app, and if you have your data stored in that mobile app is also integrated with e-filing 3.0, where you can export, import case and export case from your mobile tab also. When you use that e-filing eCourts services app, you can even export it to your e-filing 3.0, and you can import it over here also and work on it also. So the eCourts services website is services.ecourts.gov.in. So over here you can check any case status. Sometimes just now it is not right now. There is some kind of glitch, and then they are still working on it. That's why cases for Gangtok or Gyalshing right now is not being displayed. They are still working on it because recently we had updated to 3.0, so there must be some kind of software trouble. So that's why but it will be resolved. E-committee is working on it to resolve this glitch that is there. Glitches will always be there. It is for us to solve it. So my presentation. Lastly, I will so all this digitization work in the end. What I would like to say is, in terms of scanning, and so what are the other jobs that is happening is about scanning and digitization in our courts. What is that? Scanning and digitization is, now all these new cases, we are doing e-filing, we are using CIS, but what about the cases before 2002? All those cases which were written with paper, which were typed, what about all those disposed cases, the old legacy cases that are all stacked in the record section? These cases are all stacked in the record section, and now the scanning and digitization process is digitizing these hard copies or these files. Our record keeper right now, as we speak, actually there is a team of people who have come there. They are also helping in scanning all this legacy data. So in the scanning process also is the same thing. Once you scan a file, in the end the output has to be a PDF-A format. So all the courts are ensuring that we get an output, or we scan the file in such a way that we will be able to get an output of PDF-A or PDF-1A. That is according to SOP. Also for the long-term preservability, or there is another thing called JP2 format also, that let's not get into it. But the main thing is that for now, PDF-A we are scanning all out. So they take all the records. I'll just run you down through the process. The old records are there. The record keeper, he first checks all the records. He sees whether it's in order or not. He indexes the whole file. After he indexes the whole file, then he gives it to the scanning team, and the scanning team scans that document and makes it a PDF file. And once it is PDF file, it is there is a certain convention for folder naming. That PDF file is stored in that folder and is given to me, the system administrator. I store it, or I have to upload it in a portal which is available. So that is actually the scanning process, and the main thing is here is the PDF-A output that is very important. criminal justice system. ICJS is just that eCourts, our courts, we are all digitizing our data. In the same way, the police stations are now in the process of digitizing their data. And then there is another, the forensics labs also are digitizing their data. And then all these three data, in order to bring it all under one umbrella, in order to exchange information or whatever digitized data in order to exchange information is this ICJS, Interoperable Criminal Justice System, so that we can exchange our data and use it for us. That is what is. You must, for your Justice app, is where your Justice app is the app for your judicial officers in your mobile phones. Your prerequisite is you need to have a mobile phone and you need to have a mobile number with your verification, and also the High Court will assign you a certain code, a code of at least I think 7 numbers, something like SA000017 is his code. In the similar way, you will also be getting a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbered code similar to this. Once you get that code, you have to enter that code in your Justice app and also your phone number, and you will also get all the status, case status, what is the status of a case, all your pending, just like a CIS dashboard will be in your phone. That's your Justice. One more thing, Vulnerable Witness Deposition Center. A Vulnerable Witness Deposition Center is a center. We have it in Gyalshing Court and it is operational for the vulnerable witnesses. Who are the vulnerable? The witnesses who are below 18 years of age or who are in a fast track case, maybe a rape case, a sexual assault case. It is up to the judge to determine whether that witness is a vulnerable witness or not. The witness can be a big person also, but you never know what he or she might have gone through lots of human trafficking also. That person also can be a vulnerable witness. Now, in order for the vulnerable witness to not be scared of the court system, we have a different establishment or room in our courtroom where the vulnerable witness will have a separate entryway, and then the accused will have a separate. The idea is they should not meet or look at each other at all, so that he or she won't get intimidated. So the vulnerable witness goes to the deposition center. He sits in front of, he or she relaxes. There is a nice waiting room with all kid-friendly sofas, everything. In the other room is a deposition room. He or she just needs to sit in front of the computer and then depose. The judge, only the judge will be connected to him through the computer. The judge will be in another room. Judge, advocates, accused will be blanked out you won't be able to see the accused. The judge, advocates will be there in the other courtroom, and it will be connected to this vulnerable witnesses computer, and the vulnerable witness will only have to look at the judge and then depose comfortably so that he or she will not be intimidated. And all the questions from the defense counsel and the state counsel will have to be routed to the judge. The judge will have to, the advocate will have to say, please ask the victim whether such and such thing happened. Then the judge will reframe his words and make it very polite, and then say it in the computer that yes, did something like this happen to you? And then the victim is comfortable, he or she is sitting there, and he or she can easily depose without coming into contact with any of the accused or the staff, anybody for that matter. They can sit nicely in the waiting room, give their depositions, and then go out. So that is what is a vulnerable witness deposition center.
Of cases.
Okay.
So out of all the sites which we have discussed right now, where can we find out the reason for pendency of cases? Because we can find the data of how many cases are pending in a particular court, but we do not find the basic reason for why the cases are pending before a particular court. So
yes, so exactly. That time I told you delay reason, no?
Yeah, delay reason.
That reason, when you navigate in the NJDG, when you click on the cases, pendency of, like that time I clicked in one of the case and you went inside, then you saw exactly inside that if the Peshkar has put the delay reason, then when you click and when you go there, then there is a delay reason tab, there it will be shown, yes, this case is pending for this and this reason. But that is only for more than 2 years. But less than that, I think pendency of cases, there will be different other reasons also for that. So delay reason is what is important. Yes.
So according to you, which judgment searching portal is more compatible for us? like apart from ESCR?
I think
So-
for now, easy SCR is the most compatible because it is free, first of all, and it can be accessed from anywhere. But whereas the other portals, if you have to pay and go to that, is the other portals might be better also. The government can't compete with the private kind of thing. Private, they'll be skilled in certain things, but ESCR is the basic portal. I don't know whether the other portals are better than ESCR or not. That I don't know, but as far as I know, yeah, the eCourts e-committee has leveraged very properly. Means whatever data they have picked up from all the courts, they have very well. That also they have leveraged by textual free text search. So I think ESCR would be the
More
best one.
compatible, right?
Yes, it's
For
very
rookie
compatible.
like us, we have.
Yes,
we are
even the
beginner.
judicial officers. Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you all.